Welcome to Explain America. I'm your host, Kyle Becker. Well, we have rogue judges who have absolutely gone wild across the United States. And on Tuesday, we have yet another case of a judge who has made a complete fool of himself, throwing out a case that the Trump administration brought against Maryland judges, and even engaging in absolutely ridiculous vitriol and disrespect against the President of the United States. So this just proves once again that these rogue judges, they need to be reined in, right, Supreme Court? But before we get into this story, please like, share, and comment. Join Explain America. We appreciate your support for common sense journalism. Now, Judge Thomas Cullen, who was an appointee of President Donald Trump, scolded the administration for a confidential lawsuit and said he dismissed it because the judges were protected by judicial immunity and because the executive branch lacked standing to bring claims in the first place. So now this was involving a standing order that requires court clerks in Maryland to automatically enter administrative pauses that last 2 business days in cases brought by alleged illegal immigrants who are challenging their detentions or removals. The injunctions have the effect of temporarily barring the Department of Homeland Security from deporting or charging the legal status of an immigrant until a judge has time to review the case. Well, Chief Judge George Russell, who issued the standing order, noted in it that the policy change was necessary to help the court briefly maintain the status quo in deportation cases until a judge could get around to examining them. Russell cited an influx of immigration lawsuits brought in the court, including on weekends and holidays. Now, here's the thing about this. They are clearly just trying to gum up the works. There have been all sorts of immigration and deportation orders that were enforced under the Obama administration that did not have these absurd hurdles to go through. Now, these judges, they want to sit there and just slow down the rate of deportation. It is absolutely clear. But when Joe Biden, who was president of the United States, was allowing millions of illegal immigrants into the country with no screening, with no enforcement of immigration law, these activist judges didn't say a word. They didn't lift a finger. They didn't do anything to say it was illegal. So this is absolutely ridiculous, and it's part of the hypocrisy that proves to Americans who have thinking ability that they are being activists. They are not enforcing the law impartially. They are absolutely cherry-picking cases, and to sit here and to use contemptuous language against the President of the United States while sitting mum for 4 years with an open borders crisis is absolutely unacceptable. As far as I'm concerned, Congress needs to remove all of these rogue judges. It's way past time. They are not acting in good behavior as the Constitution requires. They need to be kicked out. Okay, so I don't know what John Thune is doing in the Senate. I don't know what Speaker Johnson is doing. I don't know who has information on them or what their deal is, but they act like a bunch of uniparty hacks. They're completely lazy, they're feckless and ineffectual, and if they don't lose the House during the midterms, it will be only because Donald Trump did such a great job, despite rogue judges, despite a weak, spineless Republican Party that doesn't do their job, and they should be grateful. Because it doesn't seem like they're playing to win. The Democrats, the leftists in this country, they always play to win. It's time that their opposition learns the same thing. You need to remove these people. They are not good faith actors. They are not. They are breaking the law. They are not acting in good behavior. They need to be removed. And it's time that we find a way to get leaders into office who are actually a part of an opposition party, and not a fake opposition party, not someone who's just going along to get along, someone who's pretending to be America first, but actually stabbing it in the back every time they get a chance. Because where's the accountability? Where is it? We saw the Supreme Court just reported yesterday, scolded rogue judges. We had Neil Gorsuch, who is a pretty decent conservative judge, and also Brett Kavanaugh, some time back, also reprimanded lower courts for interfering with injunctions and abusing nationwide injunctions against the Trump administration. We've seen that. But if there's something we know, they don't care about harsh language. They don't care about being scolded. They are shameless. They are shameless and corrupt. And it's a time that somebody in the Trump administration, Department of Justice, the FBI, law enforcement at large, do something about these bad actors because they're trying to push us towards lawlessness, anarchy, and a constitutional crisis. So if you don't act against these people, you only have yourselves to blame when you reap the whirlwind.